Henry Whitmore was known as the unshakable wolf of Wall Street, a man who had built his billion-dollar empire from nothing, yet never paused to look back. At 62, he had everything: wealth, awards, and a penthouse with a view of the city he controlled. It was a Tuesday morning, typical in every way, until his assistant hesitantly walked in. "There's a child asking to see you." Perplexed but intrigued, Henry allowed the interruption. In walked a small girl, maybe 6 years old, wearing a red sweater with a missing button. She stepped onto a chair, looked Henry in the eye, and placed a wrinkled paper in front of him. Her letter was written in crayon. Name, Lily Mae Thompson. Skills, I can clean. I don't cry in front of people. I'm good at learning. I can be brave. Henry chuckled despite himself. Why do you need a job, Lily? She sat up straight. Because my mom's dying, and I need to save her. Lily didn't cry. She didn't beg. She simply asked. Henry, used to hostile boardrooms and ice-cold logic, found himself breathless. Something in Lily's gaze reminded him of a daughter he once had, but lost to cancer 30 years ago. A wound he'd buried under stock charts in silence. He cleared his throat. Where's your mother now? Lily handed him a scrap of paper. Room 413, County Clinic. When Henry arrived at the underfunded clinic, the nurse blinked in recognition. Sarah Thompson, you're here for her. As he stepped into the room, a pale woman lay unconscious, and Henry froze. He knew her. Sarah had been a young nurse at the hospice where his wife and daughter had died 3 decades ago. She had held his daughter's hand as she passed. She had cried for his family, even when he couldn't. She never knew he remembered, but he did. Henry arranged for Sarah to be transferred immediately to the best hospital in the city. No questions asked. He placed Lily in a safe, warm apartment across the street, and for the first time in 30 years, he canceled his meetings. Days turned into a week. Sarah slowly regained consciousness. Her first word, Lily. When Henry introduced himself again, she was too weak to speak, but her eyes filled with tears. I never thought, she whispered, that anyone remembered me. You remembered my daughter, Henry said softly. Now it's my turn. As Lily and Henry grew close, painting, baking, playing chess, a question lingered in his mind. One afternoon, as Lily drew a picture of Mom, me, and the man with sad eyes, he saw something else. Her eyes. They looked like his wife's. He asked Sarah gently, who is Lily's father? Sarah hesitated. Then, with a fragile voice, said, you. It was just one night. I never wanted to disturb your life, but after I heard what happened to your wife and daughter, I couldn't ask anything more from you. Henry staggered back, his breath gone. He had a daughter, a second chance, one he didn't know he'd lost. Henry officially became Lily's legal guardian, and stayed by her side through every treatment. When the doctor said her organs were failing, she begged to hold on just a little longer. I just want her to remember me smiling. But on the 12th night, she asked Henry something else. Let her go with you. Let her grow up without watching someone die again. Promise me you'll give her life, not just love. And then she asked him to take Lily to the hill with wild sunflowers, her favorite place as a child, when she was gone. 2 days later, Sarah passed away in the early morning. Lily was asleep in Henry's arms. He didn't wake her, not yet. 1 year later, Henry retired quietly from business. He and Lily lived in a cottage surrounded by sunflower fields. She wore the same red sweater, but now it had a new button sewed by Henry himself. Sometimes at night, she would ask, do you think Mom can see us? Henry always answered, yes, especially when you smile. On Lily's 8th birthday, she handed him a new letter. It said, name, Lily Mae Whitmore. Job, daughter. Skills, I make my dad laugh. I keep memories safe. I'm good at being brave. And I never cry alone anymore. Henry framed it, and beneath it, wrote one line, she applied for a job and gave me back my life.